The Spring to Life drop has just come out, but this means Mojang have already spent weeks hard at work on their next free update, the biggest of which they are calling the Summer Drop. This will contain player locator bars, as well as dried ghasts and other happier features, as well as everything else they develop between now and its release date, which we would usually have to speculate on, but in this case a Mojang employee has already told us when the update will be coming out. This is such incredible news that I want to talk about all of the update stuff we have in this video, and so hello, I'm Cat, and welcome back to another update news video. Make sure to subscribe to learn about the latest things going on, because in this video we'll talk about the next small update, the next medium update, and the next slightly bigger game drop that will be coming out over the next 3 months leading up to June. But let's talk about the first one of these first, because it is the most important and it's the simplest to explain why it's needed, because simply put, this keeps happening on Bedrock. Yup, that's rubber banding happening in a single player world, something that should never happen and something which got much worse after the last update. Not Spring to Life, the one before that, and so this is something you might think is as bad as it can get, but recently at the top page of Reddit, this video made it there from Different Function 75, and I just need to point out how dire this is. We obviously need an update to fix this, and so if Mojang decided it was important enough, they could roll out a hotfix as soon as they like, perhaps as soon as the earliest days of next week or even over the weekend, and this would be 1.21.71 or 1.21.6, and this release date could be literally days away, because by rolling out just the most important fix, they can bypass a lot of the certification systems, which would slow down updates of medium size, like the next medium size update, which is going to be interestingly Bedrock exclusive. So this is a natural fact of life when you consider that all new features come to both Bedrock and Java, but the Bedrock edition also needs to catch up with the Java version with all of its features it's added over time, and so the next update like that for Bedrock will be called 1.21.80. This is something we've seen in the past with 121.60 and 121.40. It's a natural fact of life on the Bedrock version, and this one is not just going to fix a lot of bugs and do some parity stuff, but it's also going to change the way that custom superflat works, which I guess you could argue is parity, and interestingly it's going to allow us to have all sorts of new presets. This won't change the way that structures generate yet, it won't allow you to make your own custom systems yet, and you can't even play with achievements enabled yet, but it is a really great start in the right direction, and over the next few weeks they're going to add small features in that direction. I just think it's a really great move personally, but that is 1.21.80, a Bedrock exclusive medium update we could call it, or minor update. This one is going to be finished somewhere in the month of April, based on the fact that we're on our third beta already, and these tend to go for 5 or 6, and then it's likely going to come out somewhere towards the end of April or the start of May, and so that's when the next medium update will come out. But let's be real, the feature that I think immediately the community glob onto is going to be the happy ghasts, or maybe, if you're a connoisseur, the vibrant visuals. And so what about both of those features? Well, technically speaking, vibrant visuals could release in this medium Bedrock update, because it is a Bedrock exclusive feature, at least on launch, but the most likely time we'll see both of these features, as well as everything else that Minecraft is going to tease next, is going to be the big game drop of the summer one. This has been confirmed so far to have a brand new Ghastling, as well as a brand new happy Ghast that you'll be able to ride and even jump on top of while playing with your friends, and even more interestingly, that all comes from this little dried Ghast that you can actually craft. This was something originally posted by Bobbycraft, but Mojang have privately confirmed to all creators that this will be true. Interestingly enough, they actually said in their precise wording that you might require to have bone block individual, so there's some disagreement about what the crafting recipe will be, but there's going to be a brand new block and 2 brand new mobs and a new thing to ride, potentially with your friends. There are going to be 4 slots on the Happy Ghast, which is interesting because the only other feature we know about from this summer drop so far is going to be the player locator bar, and so it does seem like if you had to guess a theme for this update so far, it would definitely have to be a multiplayer drop, and there's three big reasons as to why. It's not just what's in the game drop that you've seen with the Happy Ghast and the player locator bar. It's not just the fact that Mojang did mention in their Future of Minecraft post that they're always looking to improve the way that multiplayer works in the game, but it's also the fact that literally every time they've showed this off, they've showed it off in multiplayer. Every piece of Happy Ghast footage we have involves multiplayer, and even when they show off people having their own Happy Ghasts, they did 3 of them having a race in the post-show. There is so much Happy Ghast content out there, and it's all in multiplayer. That is what Minecraft clearly believes the focus is going to be, and so over the coming weeks and months, at the same time as working on these bug fixes, at the same time as working on parity, specifically with the Bedrock team, the Minecraft vanilla gameplay development team are going to work on brand new features that fit into the theme of the update so far. To be fair, it might not be multiplayer, it might be the Nether, because having a locator bar there might be useful too, but whatever the theme is, that's what they're going to be focusing on. And as we saw from this tweet from the intro, someone asked about the release date for the Happy Ghast, and we got a direct reply from the UX director of Minecraft saying, oh yeah, it's going to be coming out in June, which is interesting because we had previously theorized this could be true. Think about it. The winter drop dropped in December, the Spring to Life update came out in March, and so every 3 months would put the next one into June, but this is incredible news because all the way back one day after the release of the Spring to Life update, we can already say that the most likely release dates, therefore, for this next summer drop are going to be June 3rd, June 10th, June 17th, and June 24th, and we can say that pretty confidently because Minecraft updates almost always now release on a Tuesday. They never release on a weekend, and it's very rare to see them on a Monday, and so as a result, we're fairly sure roughly when the next update's coming out already, which only leaves us with these big questions, which I'll do my best to answer now. Because the next big question that we want to answer for this update, now that we've mentioned when it's coming out, is what will it be called? We gave you exact update names for the next couple of updates, but what about this one? Well, in theory, it would be 1.21.90, because Mojang has been very clear that game drops are not the same as updates, and that game drops are therefore only minor version increases, while major updates are actually full increases. So 1.22 would have to be an update and not a drop. But what's interesting is if we go back to this tweet from the UX designer, they actually call the Spring to Life drop a drop, but they call the summer drop a summer drop update. Now this could be the confusing thing that a drop is actually always an update in the same way that a hotfix is an update, or it could be a hint or a reveal that indeed Minecraft summer drop will be 1.22. That is the way I personally take it, but I'll concede it is up to interpretation and how you want to see things. We'll only know for sure once 1.20, 1.80 comes out, and once they start the betas and previews for the next update, whether they call it 1.22 or 1.21.90. And so then at this point, I think the big piece of analysis that this video needs, because that's what we do here on this channel, is to question whether the update strategy is going well. And I think the fact that they are already pretty confident the next update will be releasing in June is a sign that it is. I think that the Spring to Life update is maybe, my least favorite of the drops they've released in the past year, but the fact is, for so many people, it's their favorite, and I do think that if we look forwards into the next summer drop, so many people are already in love with just the Happy Ghast that I think that even if they take 3 months and literally just release that one feature, I think many people would go, yeah, solid update, this one's going to change the way I build forever, and so any features that arrive on top of that seem like they are a bonus. This is the ideal place for Mojang to be as a company, because ultimately I think the amount of content that comes out from them as a studio is something that is very, very variable on a month-to-month basis, and so being in a position where anything they release is a lovely bonus is great. But yes, that means that the Happy Ghast is coming in June, that means the Happy Ghast might make part of a major update, and that means that if you're looking forward to finally being able to have multiple people on one rideable mob, you'll be able to do precisely that, and we might even be able to test it very, very shortly. For now, we haven't seen, as of the time of recording, we haven't seen a beta preview or snapshot that has these Happy Ghast inside of them, so it could be that they actually had a very early prototype, but I would suspect we'll be able to play around with them and start testing them as of the next couple of weeks or so, and that is when we'll be able to see where Mojang are looking to take the rest of this update, because right now I think that Mojang are riding a wave of hype that seems to be going very well for them, and I'm happy for them for that. Speaking of happy for them, I hope you're happy for me at the end of this video, as if you are, I hope that you consider liking and or subscribing to the channel, perhaps even turning those notifications on, I'll be real. Turning notifications on is great, but also notifications are the worst. So, turn on notifications if you want, but if you subscribe, you might be more likely to see me on your homepage, which would be awesome. So thanks and goodbye.